My name is Bassey, and I believe. I believe in the transformative power of words, both written and spoken. I was born in Ikom, Cross River State, Nigeria, but raised in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So I understood very early on the importance of communication. I didn't learn to speak English until I was 5 years old. Before that, it was hard for me to talk to people, hard for me to express myself because I wasn't sure I was always using the right words. So by the time I learned to use words, I understood how powerful they were. So when I became a writer, I understood even further how important it was for me to say what I needed to say in order to express and tell my entire story. I learned also that in telling my story, I was telling stories of people that I never even met. So the way that I was writing, the way that I was performing, the way that I was using words was helping someone else be clear and speak clear. Today I remember my grandmother as she attempts to connect with her second children. She finds the only English word she knows from somewhere hidden in the belly of her 4'9" body, and instead of "awonke," she greets us with "bye-bye," beckoning us into her thin, clay-colored arms. Those arms mothered my mother, taught her how to mother me. I inhaled the history from her skin, and she reminds me of the small, scared girl carried away on an iron bird to America. Seems like that same bird has returned to replace that perfect girl with me, this strange, tongue-tied woman, the one that can barely say hello without the clicks and moans, the dips and tones of the white man's language. It breaks my heart to realize that I can only love her clearly in English, but this is not my only tongue. Insolent and heavy with the awkward movements of amber waves east or west, this is not my village, and my heart still longs for my grandmother's voice, steady and strong, crossing rivers and oceans, rounding buildings of mud, thatched roof, steel, glass. My grandmother passed away in September 2011, and before she died, she and I never really communicated again because I lost my language when I moved to the States, and she never learned to speak English. I wrote the poem Homeward as an homage to her and to all the people who have left their homes and lost their language and still needed to communicate to the people that they loved and their families. There's a line in the poem that says, "Nongbongi Benyami," "Nongnongi Benyami," and it means, what will I teach my children? And that's something that I've always thought about. How was I going to communicate who I was to them if I couldn't do it in my native language? And I realized after I wrote the poem that I was doing it. Writing was how I communicated, and that's how I was going to teach anybody who wanted to know anything about me. I was going to teach them through my own words. This is how I'm going to pay it forward. I'm going to take one poem from an inspiring poet, help them edit it, get it clear and clean, teach them how to memorize, teach them how to perform, and then invite them to perform on stage with me.